Israel Defense Forces Chief Benny Gantz said on Tuesday that recent bouts of violence along Israel's border with the Gaza Strip are leading towards significant and offensive military action in the coastal enclave. He added that there was also still a chance for a flare-up of West Bank violence over the Palestinian statehood bid at the United Nations. Gantz's comments came just 24 hours following the latest confrontation along the Gaza border as Israel Air Force planes carried out a strike early Monday after Palestinian militants in Hamas-run Gaza fired a rocket at southern Israel. The IDF Chief of Staff also referred to the relative quiet in the West Bank following the Palestinian Authority's bid at recognition in the UN, saying that September isn't a date, it's a process. IDF alertness is still in place. Events have been contained thus far, but despite that, we are still ready, and it's possible that this situation could escalate, with more events unfolding as time goes by. In the face of continued Palestinian disappointment, the chance of a violent outburst is still there. Gantz also spoke of Israel's changed attitude towards its border with Egypt over increased terror activity in the Sinai, saying that the peninsula housed terror infrastructures tied both to Gaza militants and to global jihad terror cells in violation of Egyptian sovereignty. The IDF chief added that this is why the army is reevaluating its entire thinking in the south. Today, 30 contractors are working simultaneously with 400 workers to erect the border fence at an accelerated pace, with 70 kilometers already completed. Gantz later stated that he expected the barrier to be completed by late 2012. French Foreign Ministry spokesman Bernard Valero said that France's consul to the Gaza Strip, his wife and 13-year-old daughter, were injured during an Israeli airstrike on Sunday night. Valero told reporters the three were hit by shrapnel at their residence in Gaza, which is located 200 meters from the site of the Israeli missile attack. Without specifying the nature of their injuries, Valero said that France condemns the consequences of the raid, and while we are all for Israeli security, France recalls the utmost necessity to avoid civilian harm. The raid killed one policeman and wounded 4 others after Palestinian militants from the coastal territory fired a rocket into southern Israel. Knesset member Ben-Eliezer, a close friend of deposed Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak, warned that the latest developments in Egypt indicate that over time, Israel will find itself in a head-on confrontation with its Arab neighbor. Ben-Eliezer of the Labour Party told the Knesset's Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee Monday that Israel should start preparing for a conflict with Egypt. Ben-Eliezer told Yediot Achronot that we are in the midst of an earthquake, and I still can't see it subsiding, definitely not in the near future, when elections are on the horizon in Egypt. Today it is clear that for the first time in history, the Muslim Brotherhood will win at least a third of the seats in parliament. Islamization is taking the place of nationalism. According to Ben-Eliezer, he says we are in a situation whereby no one can predict how the new Egyptian leadership will look like following elections. We must take into account that we may find ourselves in a confrontation with Egypt. We already have a problem in North Sinai, which has clearly become terrorist territory, because we cannot operate freely there as we do in Gaza. A Fatah official said on Tuesday that Fatah and Hamas have been holding secret talks in Cairo in the past few weeks in a bid to reach an agreement on the formation of a Palestinian unity government and new presidential and parliamentary elections in the Palestinian territories. The discussions came on the eve of a planned meeting between PA President Mahmoud Abbas and Hamas leader Khaled Mashal in the Egyptian capital next week. Azam al-Ahmed, a senior Fatah official in the West Bank, revealed today that he had held a secret meeting in Cairo with Musa Abu Marzouk, the Syrian-based deputy head of the Hamas political bureau. Al-Ahmed said that he held several meetings with Abu Marzouk in order to create a positive atmosphere ahead of the Abbas-Mashal summit. The Fatah official voiced optimism regarding the prospects of success of the planned summit, saying that the two parties had made good preparations ahead of the meeting. He said that Abbas was planning to propose to Mashal that they hold new elections in March of next year. Fatah and Hamas announced last May that they had reached an agreement to end their differences. However, the agreement was never implemented due to sharp differences between the two parties over a number of issues, first and foremost the identity of the prime minister who would head a new unity government. Hamas's refusal to accept current Prime Minister Salam Fayyad as head of the proposed government was the major obstacle to achieving reconciliation between the two sides. But an announcement by Fayyad earlier this week said that he would be prepared to step down to pave the way for the implementation of a Fatah-Hamas unity deal now seems to have paved the way for rapprochement between the two parties. The summer of 2012 is worth waiting for in terms of foreign artists performing in Israel. Yediot Achronot has learned that Bruce Springsteen is in advanced talks for a concert in Israel. Madonna and Lady Gaga will arrive in the Holy Land next summer as well. Advanced talks are also being held with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Let's start with Springsteen. Israeli producers have been trying for years to get him to perform in Israel, but have been unsuccessful. This time, the talks are said to be taking a positive direction. The American rock icon is expected to arrive in Israel for one concert in June 2012, most likely at the Ramat Gan Stadium. Madonna's arrival, as usual, will be the noisiest. The Queen of Pop last performed in Israel in September 2009 in front of 100,000 people. This time, Madonna is expected to launch her world tour in Israel in May 2012, either at the Ramat Gan Stadium or Tel Aviv's Yarkon Park. She's scheduled to spend 3 weeks in the Holy Land working on her concert tour. Lady Gaga performed in Israel in August 2009, a moment before becoming one of the world's biggest pop stars. This time, she's expected to arrive in the Holy Land for concerts in August 2012 at a new stadium being built in Petah Tikva. Red Hot Chili Peppers have yet to sign an agreement for a concert, but music industry officials believe that the American rock band will perform in Israel in late July, most likely at the Yarkon Park. All four artists will likely be brought to Israel by producer Shuki Weiss, who has been working with the Live Nation International production company, which represents the singers.